back, everybody. Well, we're back in the garage. Time to get back to work. So the new glass came in. It's a tinted glass. It's the only one we could find that would fit. We needed to make sure those measurements were right when we start. Not really happy with the way this is turning out. It's more like it's looking Frenched out than Frenched in. So I think I'm gonna try to break all this stuff off of here. We'll be able to reuse all this stuff, but the thing I'm gonna do is I got some lines marked out here. I'm gonna cut this cowl back as much as I can, bring this back in and get this gap tight as I can. It's gonna be a lot more work, but I think in the end it'll look right, because this wasn't looking right to me. It's supposed to be Frenched in, it's supposed to be flowing with the body and smooth, and that just did not look right. It's already difficult enough because of the body line separation here where it goes in, so that was just making it worse. So I think I'm gonna have to cut this cowl back and we'll add some steel in here. It's gonna be in 3 pieces because there is some inner work in here, but it is what it is. I mean, I want it right. I don't want to just do it and say that's it, you know. Let's make it right the first time. So here we go. All right, so I set the glass back in here to show you kind of how much we're going to be cutting this back. I think it's going to look a lot better. It's going to bring that gap down a lot. So it's probably about as far back as I can get it though. It's going to be a lot more work. We're going to have to cut all this out, cut an inch out, pull this whole panel back. We'll add an inch in here, bring all this back, but there's a lot of inner structure that has in the way that's got to go, and it's going to be difficult. So I'm going to try and cut one section at a time and pull it back, get it lined up where I want it, work on another section until I get the whole front done, and then we'll start working our way around again. Should have done this from the first place, but you know, when you're doing this for the first time, you kind of screw up sometimes and you got to do it twice, but make sure it's right and you're happy with it before you continue on and go too far. So here we go. Alright, so we're going to tear this thing apart and just cut into it. To get these all cut off, and we'll start cutting into these lines I drew out. And we'll cut about an inch out, and we'll add about an inch. And it should look a lot better. We got into some inner structure here. This is all in the way. So I marked it, and I'm going to cut this out, and that'll just make our step a little bit different, but structure will still be there, and it'll give us our clearance to push this back an inch. And then we'll have to cut some more out of here probably, but let's start with this, and we'll see where it gets us. Chugging away over here, and I'll show you what we got. Everything's turning out real nice. We got this piece tacked in, and I started drilling out these spot welds. Got this mark to cut, and we're gonna pull out this center section next, cut out the inner reinforcement, make a new one, and weld that in. And we're just gonna work our way across one section at a time, get that inner structure welded in completely before we do anything crazy. All right, we got that piece cut out, and we got a bunch more structure in here, which I knew was in here. So we'll just basically cut these, lower them down, weld them back to the firewall down lower, and that'll be plenty good. And we might even do something else, but this is gonna take me probably a day at least, just to get this all reconfigured. Well, one way to look at this, at least I'm cutting out all the rusty parts. Gas, and while I'm waiting for more gas to get here, my cousin went to pick me up a few bottles. I think I'm going to remake this piece right here. This kind of thin metal, you know, and then I'd have to add a strip in. So I think I'm just going to try and make one out of one piece. I made these before, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so I went ahead and cut myself out a piece of sheet metal. I used this as a template, but I made it a lot bigger, obviously. And we'll start forming it in the homemade English wheel here. All cut in there nice. Ended up a little wobbly there, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up cutting it back some more as I build my pieces, because I'd rather weld in the flat than on the edge there. Alright, we got that piece welded in there. Well, not welded in there, tacked in there. But we have some gap issues. Like, our gap's good at both ends, but in the middle it's a little tight. So I'm going to take my saw and cut some of this material out and pull this down until we get the right gap. But it's turning out good. It's taking a lot of time, but we're getting it. we're getting there. So I'm gonna transfer up into that body line right in that corner. It looks a lot better than it did before. Alright, well, I got some of this sanded down and started to blend in. So you can see that transition now a little better. Once I get this welded, you'll be able to tell a little more. So I'm gonna go ahead and start welding up on this side and getting it sanded down. I think the transition's turning out pretty nice. It's subtle, so should be pretty good. This side all welded up. We still got to finish the filler on the other side to bring it back to the dash.
Wow, that's going to be a lot of grinding.
Here we go with another homemade tool. Use this to make circles, round stock or flat stock or whatever.
Just like that.
Alright, I ran through there a couple times and it's basic shape there. So I got my piece cut in here. Get my angles pretty good. Get this all bent around the corner nicely. I can't believe the shrinker stretcher is working this 1/8 inch this well. The shrinker's working a lot better, but been able to get this, so just cut it off where it needs to be cut off and then keep working from there. there's a few gap issues that can be dealt with later, but for the most part, it's looking pretty good. So, hope you all enjoyed this. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Time Like Hot Rods.